Hi, I'm Rachel, welcome to my channel. This week I bring you a pattern review with a bit of a difference because I'm focusing on the capsule wardrobe. I've put together two serving suggestions for two slightly different capsule wardrobes, which I'm going to talk through first, and then I'm going to talk about all the patterns associated with those little capsule collections. I will timestamp it below so you can jump around if you want, and then as always at the very end we will have a catch up. So let's begin. Okay, so first things first, I've put together an idea of a potential capsule collections, well two actually, and I have used high-end fashion as my inspiration, the kind of thing you see on Net-a-Porter or you'd see it in Selfridges. So this is high-end. I always do this for my inspiration. So you can see the two infographics either side here. So the first one, Capsule Wardrobe 1, is very classic and very formal. So we've got a trench coat from Burberry, we've got a tailored double-breasted blazer from Givenchy, a wide leg trouser from Libero, Stella McCartney, this beautiful silk shell top, a Charvette shirt, they are classic shirt makers, a leather pencil skirt from Sport Max, and a slightly styled cap sleeve shift dress from Tove. So that's my first suggestion. So these images are just for shapes, not necessarily for the colour palette, although I think this is quite a nice colour palette. So my suggestion is these are the shapes you might use as a starting point if you were putting together a capsule collection. So that's my first formal offering. The second idea I thought was to put together not something casual, but something less formal. So starting with the coat that I've chosen from The Row, it's a beautiful boiled wool, double-faced coat, but it's deconstructed. And then we have a blazer from Joseph, so it's got a slightly easier fit than the really formal tailored Givenchy blazer, and it's got a tie waist detail, which is lovely. We've got this Jill Sanders shirt with a Revere collar. It's a really easy shape with a wide half sleeve, I would say. Then a narrow trouser from Dries Van Noten, a simple cigarette pant with a nice high waist detail on it. Basic tank from Loewe in grey marl. Instead of a skirt, I've actually chosen a pair of culottes with this vented front detail. And then for the dress from Toteem, it's a shirt dress, but it's got ruching at the front, just to give it a point of difference. So I mean, it's not an exact science putting together a range like this. So this one is more formal, one is slightly more relaxed, maybe slightly more contemporary. So you could mix and match as you wish. But really, I've done this to show you these are maybe the 7 pieces you'd have, and that's how you would put them together, and they are kind of interchangeable. So that was my starting point, really. So I am starting with the more classic capsule wardrobe and the trench coat. So I've used the Burberry trench coat as my inspiration, and I've chosen the named clothing Isla trench, which is a pattern I've reviewed before in my trench coat pattern review, which you can go back and look at if you are inspired to make a trench coat. So it's got all the classic elements of the Burberry trench coat. It's double-breasted, it has the cape detail around the top of the bodice, it's got the deep collars and the collar belt, the buckle at the top collar, it's got the sleeve adjustable straps as well, and it's got a tie belt. It's actually a tie belt as opposed to a buckle belt, but you could make it into a buckle belt with a slide if you wanted, and it's got the welt pockets at the front, and it is fully lined, and it has a back vent. So to me, it does a really good job, and it has got the look of the Burberry trench, possibly without. I think it's actually got epaulets on the Burberry one, but it doesn't have every single detail, but it's got the look anyway. So it's a PDF or a printed pattern. UK sizes 4 to 28. It's described as straight cut, lined, belted collar, large lapels, cape detail, welt pockets, the sleeve opening tabs, and a belt. It's double breasted, obviously, and it's got double stitch detail twin needling, if you like, to give it that sort of clean finished look. Okay, so that was the trench. Moving on to the blazer or the tailored jacket. So I chose this Givenchy jacket for my inspiration, and I found from Vicky Sews the Fernanda blazer, which I think does a really good job. And it's a very, very similar shape to the Givenchy. It's maybe a slightly easier fit, although it's got a bit of waist shaping in it. Sizes 34 to 52, and as always with Vicky Sews, in 4 heights. You may be familiar with that, and it's PDF pattern. So it is described as semi-fitted, lined with an accentuated waist, front and back side panels, body darts, double welt pockets and flaps at the front, and it is double breasted, and it sits quite well below the hips. Yeah, I think that's it's almost quite timeless, isn't it? And it's an incredibly flattering shape as well. So that was the Fernanda blazer from Vicky Sews. Okay, so moving on to the shirt. The Charvette, this narrow striped Charvette shirt was my inspiration for a classic shirt, because after all they are classic shirt makers, and they've just collaborated with Chanel on their recent catwalk collection. So I chose the Style Art Clayton shirt pack. I have reviewed it before in my shirt pattern review. Again, you can go and have a look at that. But I've chosen this pattern not only because it's a classic shirt, but also there are so many different variations on the style. Firstly, it's got a classic fit or a more relaxed fit. I need to move my screen down because there's so much information I need to relay to you here. And you can see it on the infographic, and go and take a look at the listing on the link below if you want to, because there's a lot of detail here. So classic fit or relaxed fit. It's got 5 different collars, including a classic shirt collar. Oh, actually in addition to the shirt collar rather. From just a stand collar to a shirt collar to a long pointed collar, the dog-ear collar, a frill and a tie neck. So it's really versatile. Obviously for my purposes, I was just looking for a classic shirt, but it's just a particularly great pattern with all these variations. It's got cuff variations, sleeve variations, a different placket detail on the cuff, and for the classic fit there's an option to do Western yoke styling front and back, which I thought was quite cool as well. And then you've got a shaped pocket with a flap or just a large patch pocket, so it's all going on there. Yeah, I think that should really cover all your shirt needs, I think. So that's the Style Art Clayton shirt pack, PDF or printed, sizes 4 to 36. Okay, that lovely Stella McCartney silk shawl top is beautiful, so simple and pared down. I found it's sometimes really hard to find a really simple pattern without unnecessary detailing, and this was quite a difficult one to find. But this is from Simplicity, the S9045, and it is paper pattern 6 to 14 or 14 to 22. Very, very plain. You can see they've got 3 views here, A, I think B and C. So view A is the style I was really after. Just very, very plain, round neck, centre back opening, slightly cutaway sleeve, front bust darks. It's got a back seam, so there'll be shapes put through the back seam, and also you've got the centre back opening so you can get it over your head. Slightly shaped hem. I think the Stella McCartney shell is probably a bit straighter, but it really does that job quite well. But they have got a really nice shoulder tie variation if you wanted to add in a bit more detail. And slightly different armhole shapes as well. So that's the Simplicity S9045. Pencil skirt. So starting point is this leather skirt from Sport Max, which is lovely, and I think it's actually panelled. But if you've seen my videos before, you know that I love the Sister Mag Longette skirt, and I've made several of these. It's a brilliant shape. It's a really, really good pattern. I've done a pencil skirt pattern review as well, so you can go back and see that. So the Longette Sister Mag skirt is, where are my notes? Okay, it's a PDF sizes 34 to 50. So it's fitted. It doesn't have a waistband, but it has got a deep waist facing. It's got a side concealed zip, centre back seam with a vent, and an inverted triangle detail at the top of the vent, and it's got quite a deep hem as well. It's very, very simple. I've made it in a stretch woven cotton sateen that had a bit of lycra in it. I've made it in a slightly heavier stretch drill. What else have I made it in? I've made it in a really stretchy sort of caddy fabric as well, and it always comes out really, really well. I think the trick is it's got this shaping in the centre back seam, and it just gives you a really narrow silhouette, but obviously you can still walk in it. It's just the best pencil skirt pattern, in my opinion, ever. So that's the Sister Mag Longette skirt. I'm not sponsored, by the way. Nobody's paying me to say this. This is just my opinions. Okay, so wide leg trouser. I chose these wide leg wool trousers, easy fit wool trousers from Libero, and for the pattern, I have selected the Bella Loves Patterns Billy trouser, and I think I've reviewed this before as well in a trouser review. So UK 6 to 22 in two heights, either 5'3" or 5'7", so you would choose the height that you're nearest to. They're described as a loose, relaxed fit with wide legs, front fly opening, front and back crease lines, side slash pockets, back waist darts, back belt pocket and button and loop with belt loops at the waistband. So just a really nice, easy wide leg trouser, which you could coordinate it with the blazer with this slightly nipped in waist, and you could wear the shell top underneath. Really great outfit. Could take you anywhere. And last, yes it is last but not least, I've chosen a very simple shift dress to do the job of this tove dress. The tove dress has a slightly extended shoulder, I think, but you could do that with this pattern. So it's the Vogue V2045 shift dress, sleeveless, body darts front and back, centre back seam with a vent, and this is fully lined, and it has got this interesting dart detail at the front and back neck as well, and this non-functioning pocket flap. And there is another variation in this pattern, and it's got a collar with a collar stand, epaulets and long sleeves, and it's quite military looking. It's actually really nice, so check it out on the link below. So it's paper or PDF sizes 8 to 16 or 18 to 26. So those are my offerings for a more classic capsule collection that you might want to put together. So just moving on to the second capsule wardrobe that I've put together. I'm struggling to describe it. I think it's semi-formal. I wouldn't describe it as casual. I suppose it's a bit contemporary in that these garments all have something different about them. Maybe they are a bit deconstructed. They're a slightly different fit to a classic version of the same garment. So I just thought I would do a second offering because not everybody wants to wear such a formal wardrobe, and these days people don't go into the office as much, so there's kind of less use for it. But I thought these pieces in this second capsule I've put together would sort of mix things up a bit. Anyway, see what you think. So the row coat, double-faced wool coat, which is probably a boiled wool, I think, with the single sort of simple reveres and a drop shoulder. I have chosen the Maker's Atelier unlined raw edge coat, paper or PDF sizes 8 to 18, and it's a very simple shape with drop shoulders and patch pockets and a button through front, but you wouldn't necessarily have to put the button detail on the front, and you could leave out the patch pockets. You could put side pockets in, I guess. And I really like in the second photograph here with the model, they've done a shorter version, and they've dispensed with the buttons, and they've got a really narrow leather tie belt, and she's just turned back the cuffs of the sleeve, and it's just like really easy shape, and it's lovely with the cream top underneath in cream. It's just really beautiful. So that was the Maker's Atelier unlined raw edge coat. Okay, we've got Maker's Atelier again here. For the blazer, my inspiration was this slightly, not deconstructed, but slightly softer, looks like a slightly more fluid blazer from Joseph with this self tie belt. And I've chosen the Maker's Atelier blazer, which is based on a classic men's blazer. It's got all the details you would expect. It's got a Revere collar. It's got the pockets and the breast pocket button through front and the cuff detail, and it can be lined or unlined, and you could make that in a quite a fluid, lightweight wool, and it would probably do the job of the Joseph jacket. Again, paper or PDF sizes 4 to 22, and again that can be lined or unlined from the Maker's Atelier. Okay, so the shirt or the blouse from Jill Sander, really simple, easy fit, Revere collar, half sleeve blouse with a deep turn up on it. I thought this fibre mood shape was just brilliant to do that job. I really like it. It's the Tesney blouse from them, paper or PDF, sizes extra small to extra large. Which translates to the bust size going from 76 to 146 centimetre bust. That's the range. So it's quite inclusive, a large size spec. Simple Revere collar, drop shoulder, 3/4 length sleeve, and a shaped hem and a button through front. It'd be nice in a sort of a fluid silk, or even a dry handle. Lightweight viscose twill, it would work as well. A really lightweight wool crepe, many fabrics, but I think something light with a bit that's quite fluid, I think would be the best option for that shape. So that's the Fibre Mood Tesney blouse. Okay, the tank from Loewe was my inspiration. Believe it or not, I found it really difficult to find a tank pattern that was very similar to this. You would think there would be loads of them, but there really weren't. It was really quite strange. But I settled on the Ali Olsen Keeler tank because you could fill the straps out if you wanted to do a version of the Loewe one. And it's designed for a jersey fabric with lycra, because you probably need about 30-40% stretch. It's a very fitted shape, and it's a PDF sizes 0 to 30. Very simple style, not an awful lot more to say about that one, but obviously a wardrobe staple. These beautiful culottes from Valentino Garavani, I couldn't find an exact pattern version of this, but what I did think was that these shorts or culottes, I can't decide whether they're shorts or culottes from Vogue, the V2115, I think they described them as shorts actually. They have got another shape within the same pattern with a flat front without the pleats as well, but you can go and look at that on the link below. It's a paper or PDF sizes 8 to 16 or 18 to 26. Wide leg, it sits on the natural waist, fly front with a zip and button closure. It has belt loops with side seam pockets, back welt pockets and front pleats. I really like, I'm going to call them culottes, but I really like culottes. I've liked this style for ages, and I have featured it before as well in a review about fake patterns. Okay, moving on to the trousers. So the silhouette I chose is a high-waisted, narrow-leg trouser, cigarette pants, essentially from Dries Van Noten. And I thought this pattern from Name, the teeny cigarette pants did a really good job, although I'd probably make them, personally I'd make them a bit longer and dispense with the side slit at the ankle. They don't have a waistband, but they do have an extended high waist with a centre front fly zip, side pockets, and they look really, really shapely. They're a really nice shape around the waist, and they look like a great fit. Sizes 4 to 28, PDF or paper. A really beautiful shape there from Named, the teeny cigarette pants. And last but no means least, for the second version of the Capsule Wardrobe, is the toe team shirt dress with the sort of pleat detail into the centre front. And I found this actually, I have featured this before in my shirt dress pattern review, the Fibre Mood Phyllis dress, which has got this really lovely asymmetrical pleat detail on the right side as worn, a nice shirt collar, seam detail on the sleeves, and these sort of splits at the 3/4 length cuff. And that is a PDF, extra small to extra, extra, extra large, sizes UK 6 to 28. So that shirt dress ends the review of the patterns. I hope you found that interesting, and hopefully it might sort of kick you off to think about a capsule wardrobe, and maybe you've got some pieces that would work in a capsule wardrobe, and maybe you need to add others in, and you would supplement them with pieces that I've shown you there. Maybe you want to plan a whole new wardrobe. I mean, it's not an exact science, and it's also a very personal thing to do with personal preference for styling and also lifestyle as well. I mean, so many people don't go out to the office now, so dressing is a lot more casual. But I think there's always a place for a really good coat, a really good blazer, a great pair of trousers, and a dress you can wear for a variety of occasions and kind of will take you anywhere. So yeah, so I did this really in response to a few comments from people saying they'd like to see a video about a capsule wardrobe. So there you have it, and I hope that will kickstart you into maybe working on your own. As always, all the links are below, and it's time stamped as well, so you can jump around. Yeah, that's it for this week pretty much. I've been doing a lot of sewing. I've got loads of projects going on. That's why it's a bit chaotic in here. So I finished the Trend Patterns tie front shirt. It's also the same pattern, is also a dress. So I made the version with the stand collar. It's got the tie front detail. Actually, let me just spin it round, and then it's got the pleats at the back. Oh, my stand's collapsing. Actually needs a good press. Sorry, it's not very well pressed. Yes, I'm really pleased with it. That was kind of my wearable toile that I've made first, and I'm going to make the dress version. I'm going to make that version exactly the same in a lightweight wool, so I can wear it over leggings with boots as a sort of tunic for the winter. So that's my most recent make, and I've got loads of things. I'm making about 3 things at the same time at the moment, so it's all a bit chaotic, and I will show them to you in a future video. And I'm also still working on Marie Antoinette, still working my way through Antonia Fraser's tome of book, Marie Antoinette: The Journey. It's really interesting, but there's a lot of it. So that will be coming up in the near future. The Chanel jacket's going really well, and that will be coming up soon as well. And that's it for this week. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye.